The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. COVID-19 cases in the Philippines continue to rise with over 8,000 new infections reported today. That brings the country's caseload to nearly 1,055,000, some 71,000 of which are still active. The virus claimed the lives at least of 77 more patients in the past 24 hours, pushing the death toll to above 17,400. Now, the number of recoveries, meanwhile, is now nearing 1 million mark, with more than 9,000 new survivors. Senators and President Duterte's economic team have reached a consensus in addressing the rising prices of pork products in the country. That is to lower the minimum access volume, or MAV, on pork importations. This means that from the initial 400,000 metric ton volume, the targeted volume of pork importations would now be reduced to 254,000 metric tons. Recall that President Duterte had approved the proposal floated by Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez, which senators say would greatly hurt local producers. But Senate President Tito Soto confirmed that the economic managers have now agreed for a compromise. They believe this will protect the interests of local producers and hog raisers. The two parties, however, have yet to decide on lowering the current 40% tariff rates before the Congress resumes session on May 17. And on that note, Mr. Nicanor Briones, he's the Vice President of the Pork Producers Federation, is joining us via Zoom to give us insights. Sir, good evening. Mr. Briones, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Sir, what's your reaction to the latest move of the Senate and President Duterte's economic team? Will this be enough?
Mas mabuti magkaroon talaga ng compromise yung Senate at saka yung mga economic managers. At, okay naman kami doon sa sinasuggest ni Senate President Tito Soto na ang MAB ay gawing 200,000 metric tons lang sa halip na 400,000 at yung tariff na 40% ay gawing 20% at yung 30% ay gawing 15%. So kung magkakasundo, ay sa tingin ko yun, win-win solution yon para naman hindi malugi yung ating magbababoy at hindi tumigil sa pag-aalaga.
Sir, if yun nga po at bababaan ang MAV ng ating mga pork products, kung mangyari po ito sa consumer side po ba, makaka-expect po sila ng mas mababa na pong presyo moving forward?
Dahil magkakaroon na ng ika nga ay pantakip doon sa kakulangan, pinapayagan naman talaga natin na mag-import. Ang atin noon sinasabi dapat 150,000 metric tons. Pero dahil meron niyang usapan ang Senate at saka ang economic managers, so okay kahit hanggang 200,000 metric tons. At pagka dumating yan, napakamura naman ang ini-import na baboy. Mamumuhunan lang sila na 150 pesos sa 40%. At kung 5% niya, 120 pesos lang per kilo. So may benta yan ng mura, siguro mabibenta nila between 200 pesos to 270 pesos per kilo. Sa ganon, maaaring bumaba ang presyo ng baboy.
Sir Nicanor, regarding po doon sa taripa na 40%, ano po yung mga factors na sa tingin niyo pong dapat nilang i-consider?
Alam mo, kaya kami dati hindi pumapayag dahil ang laki-laki na ng tinutubo ng mga importer eh. Ang landed cost 99 pesos lang plus 40% so mga 140 pesos plus 10 pesos na expenses 150 pesos. So ang puhunan at kaya pwede nila talaga yang ibenta ng 200 pesos per kilo. Pero dahil talagang ayaw pumayag na economic managers, so okay na rin kami magkaroon ng compromise na ibabayan sa 20%. Kaya mas may baba yung presyo at pabor yan. Pabor din sa consumer at kung 200,000 metric tons lang yan, maaari namang hindi pa talagang ikalugi ng mga magbababoy. So makakatulong sa pagbaba ng presyo sa ating mga palengke.
Sir, sa inyo pong pananaw, how is the government handling these issues tungkol nga po sa presyo po ng mga pork products sa ating pong bansa?
Alam mo, sa totoo lang, kung tutuusin, hindi na kailangan yan na magbaba ng taripa, magdagdag ng MAPLUS na 350,000. Yan, medyo na-discourage kami dyan kailangan natin mag-repopulate, magdagdag ng alaga ang ating magbababoy dahil napakarami na ng nawala na ng mga 80 billion pesos ang industriya ng pagbababuyan. So, dapat tulong. Unahin yung matigil yung African swine fever. Ang hinihingi natin magkaroon ng pondo para sa indemnification fund. Bayaran na 10,000 kada ulo ng baboy. At yan ang tingin namin makakatulong na malaki. Dahil pag natigil yung African swine fever, hindi matatakot yung ating magbababoy na mag-alaga nang magdagdag. At bumalik yung marami nating backyard racers na umayaw na sa pag-aalaga. So, yan, long term yan yung hinihingi natin para sa long term, long term solution, para next year, kagad magkakaroon tayo ng sapat na supply ng baboy na lokal. Hindi ang imported, dahil ang imported, alam naman natin, nasa 60 days na yan, na nasa freezer, dahil wala tayong inspection facilities, walang laboratory test sa mga pumapasok na karne, pwedeng makapagdala yan ng another African swine fever na variant at pwede rin magdala ng sakit sa tao, salmonella o kaya ay COVID. At yan kailangan naka-freezer pagka ibebenta sa palengke dahil delikado ang kalusugan ng mamamayan dahil una nga, walang testing na ginagawa ang ating pamahalaan.
Maraming salamat po, sir, sa inyong oras na binigay sa amin ngayong gabi. That's Sir Nicanor Briones, Vice President of the Pork Producers Federation. And here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. The Commission on Elections says not even the COVID-19 pandemic could impede the 2022 national elections. COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez says the agency will only suspend elections or declare failure of elections when polling precincts are destroyed or rendered. Jimenez adds that the cancellation of elections would not be justified if only due to fear. Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez says private sector workers in micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs, may receive an 8,000 peso wage subsidy for a maximum of 3 months. Lopez explains that the 24 billion wage subsidy program is part of the government's 8-point employment recovery agenda, which is expected to benefit 1 million workers. And the Immigration Bureau says foreign tourists are still barred from entering the country. But Commissioner Jaime Morante says exemption goes out to foreigners who already have immigrant and non-immigrant visas, as well as those who are or who were allowed to come to the country before March 22. Now, this includes special holders of special resident and retirees visas. Countries worldwide mark the first day of May or International Labor Day with protest rallies. More than 200 demonstrators were arrested in Turkey, with media reporting that the police were instructed to prevent people from filming them on their smartphones while on duty. Police said doing so violated personal privacy. In Paris, 46 protesters were also arrested as garbage bins were set on fire and a bank was vandalized. And in London, more than 1,000 people protested a legislation that would increase police powers to block nonviolent protests. 9 were arrested. Over in Berlin, 3 police officers were injured following a clash with protesters. Now, for more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.